In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a content calendar that you can use to fill out a form and generate content calendars for clients or for yourself in just a matter of minutes. So starting out, the three tools you're going to need is Make.com, Airtable, and ChatGPT. The Make.com automation consists of an Airtable trigger where when you fill out a form, it's going to trigger this automation. All you want to do is set up ChatGPT modules to create titles and ideas, create hooks, hashtags, CTAs, as well as create a bio and stories. You can also set up paths to set up B-rolls or have them choose between reels, carousel posts, or even text posts as additional content that they can create. And then once the automation is set up, you can also send the document to Google Docs, or even in my client's case, Google Slides to customize it. Inside these docs, we create wildcards that make it easy to organize your content that's being generated in the automation. You're going to fill in the wildcards by filling out the forms here to automatically add that content directly into the Google Doc. And lastly, you can send the answers back to Airtable just to keep track of them. That way, if you want to create additional automations in the future, you can do that inside Airtable. And then, automation like this, if you have clients, you can also send a email at the end of the automation just to make sure the clients get the email with a link to the content calendar that you created. So let's take a peek inside. Here's a look at the form. You can create this form in any application from Typeform to Airtable to Google Forms. The reason why I like Airtable is because you can set up these cool automations right here. That way, anytime the form is submitted, you can run a script. That script is nothing more than a JavaScript that I set up to send a webhook every time that form submitted. So whenever the form submitted, it's just going to take these values from these fields and it's going to send a webhook to Make.com, and the webhook is going to add the content from each of the fields in the webhook and send it directly to Make.com. That way the automation is triggered. If you want to take a look at the data that I'm sending inside these Airtable fields, all I'm doing is I'm creating a number of different fields here. I have an email sign up date, Instagram handle, purpose and objective, expert insights, audience challenges, quick wins, brand identity, target audience, content format, key topics and themes, resources and capabilities, special dates and events, and more information about their business. And when you collect all this information, it's more than enough to tell somebody about their business and to give the automation enough information to make a very elaborate content calendar that can actually be useful to somebody in their business. So just taking a look at the automation, this is what we're doing here. We're just watching for responses in the table. Once we get a response, we're going to trigger this ChatGPT module to create titles and ideas. This consists of a very long prompt that's going to take that user's information. It's going to input some examples of what the post titles look like. I added quite a few variables in here so it won't give canned titles and won't give repeatable titles. I want the information to be very custom to whatever the user puts in. For the message, what we're doing for the assistant message is setting it up to create JSON formatting. That way, when I add this information to the Google Doc, it's going to do it in a repeatable way that I can have this create for a number of different answers. And the Google Doc will be the same every single time, same format with different responses. So that's why we use JSON here. That way, later down the line, it'll be super easy just to call these objects and have them filled into the Google Doc. And then, of course, you want to parse the JSON here and create objects. And then once you do that, you can do the same thing for create hooks. You're going to use this prompt here just to fill in the information and take the information from the first prompt, and that way the information is being used and the hooks are going to be consistent with the answers that you got from the first prompt. And then we're going to do the same thing for create hashtags. We're going to take that information from the first prompt and we're going to add it here, and we're going to create hashtags based on those answers. And then we're also going to create JSON here. Same thing, we're going to parse it and create objects that we can use downstream. And then lastly, you're going to create a bio section. This bio section is very valuable for content creators because they can easily take these and add them to their Instagram account or add them to their TikTok account. And it's just going to do an amazing job at creating a 3-line bio that they can just plug and play in there. It has some examples and it gives some really great information as far as the business is concerned. Then lastly, we create stories here. And the stories are pretty helpful because it gives you daily story ideas that you can use throughout the month that will help sell in your business and create social proof that you can use to really provide some context on what you sell and who you are. And it's also a great value add for people who want to provide these content calendars for their customers. We use JSON here to make it easily accessible down the line. We're going to have to add a JSON module right here just to make sure we parse this data and make it easily available. And then, of course, this is the second half of the automation. You don't have to have this from the start because this will take some time to set up. But once you have these set up, it's going to create basically a 17 or 18 page content calendar that's extremely valuable and something that if it's in an app, you can sell it. Or if you have coaching clients, you can also add it as a value add to your clients. And that's the automation. I go into more detail inside my school group. If this is something you want to do or something you want me to set up, go ahead and join the school community and just send me a note. Let me know what you're looking for, and I'll be happy to add it or set it up for you.